Still Wakes the Deep is the game I joined the Chinese room to make. Still Wakes the Deep is a horror game set on a North Sea oil rig in 1975, where you have to survive an unknowable horror that comes on board. Our main character is Cameron McCleary, an ex-boxer from Glasgow who's in trouble with the law and has run away to sea. However, his problems are catching up with him, and in the middle of that, these extraordinary events happen. This is the next step in the Chinese room's mission to make the best narrative experiences. It's always a pleasure to work in one environment as a whole play space. This was the first thing I started to work on. It focuses the mind of the player because it makes them feel like they are isolated, that they are on their own in the middle of the North Sea. The feel of being in one single environment that you walk through, that you explore, that you gradually open up, and that you come to exist in such a way that when you finish playing the game, I hope that people still feel, after playing, I'm still on that oil rig, I still remember it. Our oil rig, the Bearer D, has many antecedents in fiction, such as the Ishimura from Dead Space, the ship in Event Horizon. It is effectively a metal spaceship hovering above the cold North Sea. In such a small environment, there's a risk that the player will get bored or over-familiar with the environment. So to address that, we make sure that the rig evolves over time. As the event progresses, the rig starts to shake and crack and crumble. It starts to sink, it starts to tilt, and it starts to flood. We had a great opportunity to work with Jason Graves, who's our composer. The most brilliant thing that Jason has brought to the project is his rig instrument. So this is a metal sculpture that he commissioned that looks like an oil rig, that he plays like a musical instrument. He strums it and plucks it and drags things over it to create these horrendous groaning sounds of metal, which he then slows down. And this is the soundtrack to the rig. These are the sounds that you hear as you move over it, as this kind of hulking metal beast groans and wails above the waves. And we're so pleased with the aural atmosphere that he's created for us. It's just exceptional. When you've been working on a game for a number of years, it's nerve-wracking to see it being revealed to the public. The best thing for me was to see people's excitement about the concept of the game, about a horror game set on an oil rig, just like we had that spark of excitement when we first set out to make Still Wakes the Deep. So our latest trailer for Still Wakes the Deep shows a little bit more about the game. We're trying not to spoil too much, but you can finally know the date which you're going to get your hands on the game. Still Wakes the Deep releases on Xbox Series X, Series S, PlayStation 5, PC and Game Pass in June.